Good day, everyone, and welcome to Forte's Academy of Music, and welcome here to the official Lotro stream. How's everyone doing tonight? Thank you, Druid's Fire, for your stream. It was actually nice to check out the area again. It's been a while since I've actually been there. All right, double checking the audio here. So this is actually the first time I've done the actual uh, Music Academy on the actual official stream. So this is actually going to be pretty interesting. Generally, what I do is like a three part lesson, going over a period of 3 weeks, teaching people how to do the different aspects of the actual music system, whether or not it ranges from how to find, download, and add new music to your Lotro folder, to being able or understanding the anatomy of the actual music files, as well as how to initiate and perform music in game. Because there's the original way, besides the actually using the keyboard, which I'll show you, but one of the initial ways to initiate the music files was to actually use the chat, use the actual chat commands. It wasn't until later on that individuals who are trying to come up with more of a simple system came up with the different plugins, like the Songbook, and then the Brandy Badgers came out with the Songbook Bb, which is an upgraded version of it. So But before I ever teach anyone how to use the plugin, I want people to know how to do everything in the basic. There are times like when you're doing a performance that your plugin doesn't work. So how are you going to initiate these commands? How are you going to initiate everything using just the commands? So it really makes things a little easier to be able to help understand what the system is and how to be able to play it. And that's what I want to do for you guys right now. And of course, if anyone has any questions or any comments or anything like that about the music system, please feel free to throw it in chat. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to pop out the chat here. And I'm going to throw it over here so that actually it's next to my client. And I have some people who are showing up. Let me just double check. Who do we have here? Okay, it looks like Pansy and Aloran. Are you able to hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me fine, because right now they're actually playing. Listen to me. Alorian's listening to me. They're listening to me in game as well. For those of you who are live or who are out there in the internet world, if you're wanting to join me be able to ask questions audibly via Discord, let me go ahead and I need to throw my Discord channel out there. Of course, remember, those of you who do join, you need to make sure, because of the official Lotro stream, you need to keep things decent. You need to keep things respectful through the voice. So let me go ahead and get myself back here. Okay, Geese. Well, Geese, I hope you can hear me. I'm actually talking with the people who are actually in chat or here in game. I just want to make sure that they can hear me using the in-game voice system. But if you're looking to be able to join me and ask verbal questions, please feel free to join me in Discord. And that way we can go ahead and have a kind of conversation there. So let me kind of get everything rearranged here. Okay. So the Lotro music system. Originally, the Lotro music system allowed you to be able to. Let me get my instruments set up here. I guess I don't have my instruments set up, my panel on there already. But generally, the original system started out where you can actually be able to, based off of your level, be able to equip the weapon, or not a weapon, an instrument, be able to go into music mode, which is /music. It allows you to basically hold out an instrument. And no matter what class you are, you start out with at least 2 instruments that you can actually hold, and you can actually be taught how to perform different music. Um, Here, let me send you the Discord invite, Pansy. There. So originally, the music system started out so that based off of the keys that you use, based off there are like 3 different ranges of octaves. There may be a little bit more there, but using the 3 octaves, like say for instance, just using the simple octave, if you're using your keys 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5, it gave you a range of notes. If you're to hold shift, it changes the octave. Holding a control, it changes the octave. Holding alt, well, alt doesn't do it on that one. So it's the 3 octave ranges there. So that was originally how things were done. And people would literally come up with actual free range, free music using the actual key system there. So that was, that's really interesting. You can actually do full out music. But it wasn't until later on where people, those of you who are those who are experienced in music also have the experience in creating plugins, came out with a plugin that first programs or websites that will take existing MIDI files. They will convert the MIDI files into what's called the .abc file. Inside the ABC file pretty much has a conversion between the different tracks based off of what instrument you have, converting those instruments into what is the ABC file or ABC programming for that Lotro uses, among other games. And so it made it so that we all can, we go ahead and swap over here. We all can basically take our favorite songs and be able to convert them over to actual MIDI files or into ABC files. And we can actually take those ABC files using in-game commands, which are pretty simple, which is what you're going to be learning here today, and be able to perform those songs in-game. And not only can you perform a song in-game, but you can also play it in-game as a band, which is pretty awesome. Those of you who actually want to attend this class in-game, I'm actually on the land. That way we can actually have people performing. I'm on the Landreval server. If you want to join me, send a. And again, this could be any level. I'm at the methyl stage. Send me a tell in chat in game to Forte. I'm going to put, as you can see here, Forte. If I can spell my name right. Send a tell to Forte. Let me know that you're coming over here to the stage. I can add you to the fellowship. That way, it'll allow those of you who are in game and those of you who are not in game. You're actually, either you have the game client open or you're just listening. Kind of help follow through to it. If you are here to actually learn, and you're not on this particular server, you're in a different server. Yeah, once you have the base idea, again, I'm going to do this step by step. Once you have the base idea of it, it's pretty simple. It's literally once you have the files, it's just you equip your weapon or you equip your instrument, go into music mode, and then perform the instrument. So yeah, the methyl stage over in the Shire in Bywater. So send me a message in game to Forte that we can attend in personally. Those of you that play Lotro, feel free to right now log into your any of the servers that you're performing on, because a lot of the stuff I'm going to go through, I will be having you do things. At least it's something you guys can follow along. You can kind of follow along with SAT. Follow along with let's see here. Follow along by doing the same stuff that I'm going to be instructing our students here to do. I'm just going to. Okay. So, but the first lesson is to find new music files, install them or add them to your music folder, and then to be able to perform them in game through chat, either as a solo or as a um, band. So the first step is, well, for us even to be able to play this music, we need actual music files. And there's a lot of different ABC songs out there on the internet that you can just do a basic search on that people have already transcribed. In my classes, I already have a set already made up. So let's see here. Yeah, one of the actual Farmers Fair quests sends you there. It's the one with all the seats here and all the seats here. You let out the fireworks. I think for the anniversary, you also come here. You let off a lot of these fireworks. Hold on, I'm invisible. Get myself invisible. There we go. So for those of you who are either in game in your respective server, or those three of you, looks like one of you is probably on their way right now. The first thing is to get music. And these would be the .abc files. And I've already prepared a downloadable folder that you guys can locate, download, and then once you have it downloaded, we will go ahead and get it transferred. Because what you're going to have to do in your Lord of the Rings folder, in your My Documents, that's for those of you who have PC, or wherever your Lord of the Rings folder is if you're on a Mac, you're going to have to create a music folder. So the first thing is to get the actual folder itself, or the zip file itself, that's going to have a collection of ABC files that I've already prepared for classes. So for those of you who are either in-game or in-game on Langeval right now with me, or those of you who are through Twitch right now, I'm going to go ahead and send you a link here, which is going to take you directly to where you're going to download those files. I should be able to do it through the stream here. I will do it both stream and in-game. Make sure I get this pulled up here. And it's going to be a collection. I think it's a collection of 30 that I've set up. Have it set up here specifically for students. Those of you who are, hey, there's that rock. Those of you who are in the group right now, have any of you ever played music? Pansy, CTNE, have you guys ever played music or ever got yourself set up to play music?
Don't think so.
Okay, good. So let's see here. Let me see here. Yeah, if a mod posts it, then you know it's safe. And you can tell who's a mod by the green square with the white sword next to the name. So if you click on no one else can post links. The only ones who can post links, which are the ones who are safe, are those who are allowed to. Now, Zed, are you currently in on the stream right now? And if you are hearing this, Zedrock here is actually one of our most famous individuals here on the Landreval server that performs music, composes his own music as well, or transcribes his own music. It's actually here to assist me. Zed, if you can hear me, if you're in the stream, make sure he want to have him to enable his voice. Okay. Talk. Okay. So let me get the link here ready for you. Sure here. Okay, good. Zed, go ahead and enable your voice in game, so that way you're hearing my voice in real time. Oops, I thought someone. Oh, that was Zed. That way you're hearing my voice in real time for any type of potential instructions. Okay, there we go. Let me get our student collection here. Well, you know what, Puppet? At least you're listening, right? At least you know to not to click on the links. But this link right here is going to take you to a Google Drive of a folder, and let's have everyone who's kind of following along go to that link. You're going to download. I think it's set up as just a zip file, or I think it should be a zip file. When you have downloaded that file, let me know when it's open or when it's downloaded. Let me know when you guys are ready. Those of you here in game. Yeah, you can actually create. See, not only can you convert MIDI files into ABC files in which you in turn compose in game or perform in game, you can literally, if you know the notation for ABC and notation of real music, you can literally handwrite your own ABC files. So, who do we have here? So Pansy, Sadie. I'm gonna just use Sadie for pronunciation. um, and Olorim. If you're assisting here, or if you're doing stuff here, let me know when you guys have those files downloaded. And also those of you who are duplicating this, that's listening to the stream, let me know if you are also in that position. Just so I have you guys download music. Oh, I guess I should actually put it in game link. That link right there. Sorry. So just download it. And if it's a zip file, open up the zip file. Well, it should be a zip file, I believe. And then in there, you should see, let me open this up again. So I can actually see exactly what file setup I set it here. Yep. And the amazing tunes that you guys are going to perform or going to hear is going to be from the students themselves. Yeah, it's going to be a zip file. Once you download the zip file, it should be what 2.1? What did I name it? 1.2. The FAOM students 1.2. And once you do that, it should have a folder in there. Just waiting for it to pull up here. So we got someone else here. Go on invited. Yeah. Go ahead and open up the zip file. There should be a folder in there. If there's a folder in there, open up the folder. Let me know when you guys, Pansy and Sadie, let me know when you've gotten that set up. Or once you've gotten that folder opened. It's downloaded. Okay, open up the zip file and then open up the folder if there is a folder that's inside of it. So that way you see the individual files. Yeah, once you can see the files and you guys are ready. Puppet, once I confirm that everyone is good to go for the next step, we go on to that step as to where you put the files. Yeah, Mandalay, download the zip file and then open up the zip file. Open up the folder that's in it. Oh no, yeah, we're still on those step, Puppet. That's why what if I know who is in chat on the stream is wanting to take the class.
There's a whole list.
Oh, looks like Sadie, you have your audio, your the speaker. But once I know who has taken part, at least I know to wait for them to have done that step. Sadie, what is it that you're asking for? Looking for? Okay. Open up the folder that you see in there. The students folder. Open up the actual folder. So that way you see the individual songs inside. The reason why I have it set as its own folder inside the zip file, because once you've learned how to initiate a song in game using the chat command, you basically the command is the command that you would use for the root file, for the folder, for like just your music folder. If you try to create like a collection of songs in your music folder, like different holiday songs and different songs from different people, they will be in their own they were in their own folder. And there's actually a separate command that you can do it so that you can pull up that song that are in subfolders in your music folder. Okay, so Pansy, you good to go? You have the folder open? Oh, yeah, the folder open. And Puppet, yeah, I think you're good to go there, as well as Mandalay. Are you up to that point? Okay, so Pansy, you're good to go. And if Olorian, you're not doing it, so we're just waiting for Puppet. You're good to go. And Mandalay. Now, if you're up to that point, like Pansy, the next thing is if you have yet to create one, like if you've never actually added music and never performed music, you are not going to have a music folder. So if you're on a PC, if you go to your My Documents, or if you're on an Apple, I believe wherever your My Document or your Lord of the Rings folder is, open up your Lord of the Rings folder. It's the same folder that you put all of your screenshots. Once you've gotten in there, you need to create your music folder. And the music folder needs to be capital M, then USIC. So once you've created your music folder, let me know. Yeah, documents, the Lord of the Rings Online, and then create a folder that's called music. It won't already be in there. Puppet, no. I don't know. When you do that, it should still create a My Documents folder, or it should create a Lord of the Rings folder in your My Documents if you're playing the game with Steam. See, a good tip for finding your folder is to go to the launcher and click the option to show your screenshot. Right. It's the same folder. So Puppet, when you open up your client, and I believe it does the same thing for Steam, because you will have a client, I believe. You would do that icon to open up your screenshot. So it's wherever your screenshots are being stored. Pansy, let me know when you're there, and Puppet, let me know when you're up to that point. Evening, Joey Doey. Joey Doey? Joey Doey. Evening. Call it music. Capital M-I-S, or capital M-U-S-I-C. Music. And what I'm going to do here At least we have a little bit of music going on. Yeah, just call it music. I'm gonna lower my player music. So that way you can at least hear the music, but it's not overpowering. There we go. Right, yep, exactly what Southern Belle said. Create the music folder in the base, the lower. Yes, correct, Pansy. Just create a folder that's called music with a capital M, lowercase u, S-I-C. I tried sending a message to Peppermint Zed, but they declined. We tried again. There we go. And Zed, if you can get him to have him enable his voice. Okay, so once you have created your music folder in your Lord of the Rings folder, go ahead and the files that were in the song folder, just highlight them all, copy them all, drag and drop them into your music folder. Hey Peppermint, have you ever done anything with the music system yet? Oh, he doesn't. They don't have their audio on. Yeah, I'm gonna have him. Okay, so Puppet, you're good to go, as well as Pansy. Okay, so you moved the individual music files and not the folder, correct? You want to drag and drop the files into the music folder, not the folder itself. Okay. Okay, just the files. Okay, and Pansy, Pansy, you're good to go. Okay. So now, then, before we show you how to perform the music in game, it's important to understand what you are seeing in the files. Mainly because you need to understand how you're able to initiate the music as a solo song, as well as how to perform it as a group. Because the specific information that's inside of one of those files tells you what instrument it is and what part number you're performing. So what I want you to do in that, I gotta pull mine up here, in the actual file, or the folder, I'm gonna get mine pulled up here. Let's say, for instance, there's gonna be, let me get my Lord of the Rings here. And I need to pull up the student songs. And those of you who are also on the stream, feel free to do the same thing. I want you to open up the files that are inside the music folder. Now, in the music folder, I want you to, on the left side of those files, you see that there's numbers next to them? That's a way that I've named the files, or it's become a tradition, a system to name the file to the left side, the number of parts it is. So the 1 means it's a solo song, right? So I want you guys to scroll or go down to where it says, where it's like the 1, it says the Highway to Hell. I want you to right click that file and typically you're going to see where it shows open with. You want to open with, and you want to open up with Notepad. Let me know when you guys have it opened up to Notepad. Are we all hobbits? I guess we all are all hobbits, aren't we? I know, right? Highway to Hell. Exactly. You know what? Not everyone can be an awesome dwarf like you, Zed. Okay, Puppet, you're good. And Pansy, let me know when you're good. Now, if you guys save it right now, what would happen is it's going to save it as might save it as a text file. Sometimes it will default and save it as keep it as a .abc. But typically, unless you know what you're doing, don't worry about editing any of these files. Let me know when you're good to go, Pansy. No, yeah, that's okay. That's okay, Puppet, because I'll kind of explain. I'm not going to go into full details of it, but I'll kind of explain to you what those parts are. It's only, again, part of this class is to become familiar with it. You may not ever use it, but it become familiar. Open up, Pansy. Open it up with Notepad, with just a simple text editor. Again, you're not going to have to worry about saving it or anything like that. So just don't open it up with. I guess you can open up with like Office or something like that, but it's best to open up with as a text file. Yeah, which I do have them. Which I'm not sure because in here I have limited. Let me pull it up here. I got limited songs specifically because of what they're going to use as part of the class. Okay, so Pansy, let me know when you have that open. Yeah, pretty much. and we'll go over that specifically once we get this once we have everyone ready. Okay, I open it. Okay, good. So we are good to go. So now, take a look at it. You're gonna see the first section there. I believe you might have a older version of it, but the first section where it has the percent signs and it says song title, song composer, song duration. That's all stuff that the program Maestro uses. But if you scroll down, the first thing I want you to pay attention to is where it says the X:11. The X:11. X basically means the part number, right? Like, what is the part number assigned to that part in the song? This is a solo song, so there's only one part. But say you have multiple different parts, like you have a lute, you have a flute, you have a harp. They're each are going to be assigned a group set of all this goobly goop. But this kind of lets you know what number is associated with them. I'm trying to get caught up. I extracted the zip file into the Lotro folder. Okay, vegan, in the Lotro folder, create a new folder. Create a folder called Music, Music. Once you've created the new folder, drag and drop. If you open up the zip file and then open up the folder in the zip file, you're going to see a whole bunch of songs in there, files. You're just going to drag and drop all those files into your newly created music folder. Let me know when you're that far. Yeah. Thank you, Bell. Southern Bell. You're not going to see a music folder. You're going to create a music folder. Let's see what song we're going to do now. That's going to be another harp song. And we're just waiting for Vegan to catch up. Okay. So now in that file or in the folder, go to where it's where it shows like a 1 next to it. Go down to the file, the Highway to Hell. I think that should be that's one of the student songs I have in there. Go to Highway to Hell. And then open it up with a text file. Now let me know when you're that far. Okay. Yep. So to learn, I mean, again, we're learning the skeleton, the innards, the anatomy of a music file because to start a song manually, you need to know some of these pieces of information. Again, a lot of this information, when you have the Songbook plugin, won't matter unless the plugin's not working. But then at least you know how to do it. Life becomes easier with Songbook, with the plugin, but I want you to understand what it was before we got Songbook. Okay, cool. So you have it opened up in Songbook. Now, like I was saying before, I'm getting another song going here. There we go. Okay. Where it shows the X. The X is the part number. For this song, which is a lute, it uses a lute of ages, the number 11 was assigned to it. When we get into creating a new song, I'll explain to you why that number got its assignment. Before now, just know that that part is the number 11. No, don't worry about the plugin. The plugin is going to be next week's class. This week, as you can see how long it takes us to get students on par, is just to download the music and be able to perform the song in-game using your chat. So you don't even have to worry about it until next week. So 11 is the part number. Basically, 11 through 20 are the part numbers assigned to the lute of ages. It's just like, say if you have 9 other people, the second person with the lute, if there's a second lute part, would be number 12 and then number 13. So that's why you have the number system. So that way you can have multiple songs, multiple instruments being played at the same time. T is the title. It shows the title, it shows the duration, and it shows the instrument that's assigned to it. C colon is the composer. So in this case, it's composed by AC/DC. Z is a transcriber, the person who's taken the file, taken the MIDI file, and converted it to an ABC file. The M is the measure. So this is a 4/4 song. Again, you don't need, I mean, that for those of you who are experienced in musical notation, that, I mean, technically, if you're experienced, you can make changes to it, and it will change the overall sound of the song. But the only thing you need to know about it is that it's the measure. The Q is the tempo, so it's 1/116 tempo. Key is the key of the K is the key of the song. So in this case, it's a C major. Everything down below, that is the ABC notation system. And it's kind of set up like a it's kind of set up like an actual sheet music. If you notice where it shows the brackets are, or not the brackets, the down line. The down line is basically the separation divider between each section of the actual the sheet. So the only thing you really need to know is that everything below is the magic that makes the song. Now, if you want to learn how to do if you're experiencing music notation, you want to know how do you convert the music notation that you know into ABC. If you go to my actual Forte's Academy of Music blog, which I will post it here afterwards, or website, I have actual written classes there that you can learn. The one Forte has. Yes, this is Songbook Bb. That is the plugin that I'm gonna teach you how to do, and you can search it. Those of you who are experienced in plugins, if you actually go to my website, I'll send you here. Let's see if I can spell right. So if you actually go to the website itself, go to that website. That would take you, and on the left side, you'll see where the plugin is for the songbook. You can download the songbook there. So if you ever kind of like want to get ahead of things for next week's class. Forte, can you show us how it looks in Notepad, please, on the stream? Oh, yes. Yeah. So that way you guys can kind of follow along. Let me do this here. Let me see if I can create my overlay here. So that way you guys can kind of follow along. I'm gonna do this. Because I'm going to try to create, I can't do a browser source. I'm going to just do it as a game capture. I think I can do that. I think I should be able to select file. Well, let me do it. I can't remember how we did that. But okay, but you see what Zed has in game, or has in chat. The X11 is the part number. The T is the title. Then you have where it shows the C is the composer, Z is the transcriber, M is the measure, Q is the tempo, and then the K is the C major. So, what does that have to do with us performing them in game? When you're doing a solo song, technically you only need to know two things. What is the part number, and what is the instrument that song is performed with? In this case, and I'm asking both here in chat, or on the stream and in game. I'm going to ask this. Whoever's the first, obviously, will give me the answer. Those of you who are in game have the upper hand because you can hear me and there's a delay. But what is the part number? What part number does the song uses? I have, okay, perfect. So part number 11, Pansy. And what is the instrument for this song? Yep, Geek, you're right. Puppet, you're right. Perfect. So it's part number 11. So remember that. Well, actually, technically, for a solo, you only need to know the instrument. The instrument and what the file number is. But, okay, and then the lute of ages, or the lute. There's a new numbering system that people have come out with because of the introduction of the lute of ages. Originally, the lute was assigned 11 through 20. But now the lute of ages has been pretty much the primary lute that's being used. The lute of ages, because it's a different song, is assigned 11 through 20. And I think the lute is now assigned 111 through 120. So right now it's calling for the lute of ages. All of you should. You guys. A whole question is: do any of you guys have a lute on you in game? Any of you? Did you guys come to music class without an instrument? Okay, so Aloran, I thought I did. Okay. Aloran, do you have? Did you follow along and get those music files? Aloran, Rustbert, how much? I don't know if Rustbert has his audio. I think they. I'm not sure if Pansy might be. Let's see here. Let me see. Well, I guess Russ is on Twitch. He's actually hearing me. Loren just spectating. Okay, that's fine. Rust, did you do you have the file set up? And Peppermint or Pansy, you guys have the stuff set up? Okay, no, that's okay. Pansy, let me take a look at my basic loot. Base is it bound? It is bound. And I think my but my Loot of Ages is not bound. So I'm going to give you my Loot of Ages to use. I'll just use my regular loot for my stuff. Where is the loot? Moved it. Where did I move it? There you are. Okay. So those of you who have the files and have the loot to come up here. I guess it's probably just you, Pansy, right? And Rust. Oh, okay, cool. You're vegan. Okay, cool. Vegan, if you can hear me in chat or on the stream, go ahead and enable your voice in game so that way you can hear me in real time. Okay, first things first. Once you know for a solo song, again, technically for a solo song, the only thing you need to know is what instrument you're playing or that song is performed with. The second thing you need to know is what is the file name, because you're going to need the file name to initiate the command in game. So, looking at the folder, the file name is the 1- parentheses 4 parentheses ACDC dash highway to hell. The easiest way, because you're going to have to copy that to your clipboard, or type it manually in game. It's easier just to copy the name to your clipboard. So the easiest way to do that is to right-click the file name. This is in the music folder. Right-click the file name, go to rename, and then just hit Control-C. So they'll highlight the whole thing. Once you have the file in your clipboard, let me know when you guys are ready. Vegan, you go into your options, go into audio, and then go down to where it says, and I'm showing you who are actually in chat. I guess I could have done that. Go down to where it says voice, click voice enabled. If you want to speak, then the Z key is your default press to talk, or you can press where it says hands-free voice, which is what I have it on. Then it'll show up. Yep, you already got it. It shows up the speaker. Are you able to hear me in game, Vegan? Oh, Russ, begin. Able to hear me at all? Okay. So once you have, or okay, do you all have the file name saved to your? Did you copy the file name? By right clicking the file name, click rename, and then go Control C to copy it. You guys have it copied. Okay, Pansy, Rust. What about you, Puppet? And anyone else partaking? You guys have. Well, it really depends on if you guys are actually in game right now. It's good to do this class if you're in game, no matter what server you are. So if you are in game and you're following along with the class, let me know if you have the file saved. Good night, Joey. Thanks for stopping by. Let me see if I can do the capture whole screen, just in case. It's video. Oh, window capture. I can do window capture. Let's try that. Oh, there's no pad. Okay, there you go. So it should. Okay, cool. I'm gonna kind of pull this down a little bit so you guys can kind of see the file right there. So that's going to be good. I'll adjust that for when we go to the other one. Okay. Puppet, if you're still there, are you following along in game, Puppet, or are you just this is just for information for you? If anything, okay. So Pansy. So now that you know what instrument you're going to use, Pansy, do you have the file name copied for this next part? Yes. Okay. The next thing, once you know what file you're using, or the name of the file, you want to make sure that your, yep, yep. When you paste the file name in, make sure you take off the .abc. So it's just a file name, not the file name and its extension. So just make sure that that file name, the .abc, is removed when you initiate the command. So now that you know the command or the file name in chat, this is what you're going to want to do. It's going to be slash, or actually first equip your instrument and type /music, MISIC. It should take you into music mode. There you go. Now /PLAY, play. No, keep yourself in music mode. So it's /play space. Then you paste in the file name. I'm going to copy this whole thing and then hit enter. And then, yep, and Russ, you got it. Good. So /play space, paste in the file name, hit enter. And it will initiate the file. Awesome. So perfect. Good job, guys. That's exactly it. So it's pretty simple. That's how you initiate a solo song in game. Sorry. I guess I can't remember what the command was. Okay. So now once you've gotten that, any of the songs that say 1, you can initiate the songs in-game using chat. Now, how do you do that with a band? How do you coordinate and synchronize more than one person performing the different parts in a song? It's pretty much the same information. But for us to do that, the next thing we're going to want to do, I'm going to close this one. It'll probably disappear from you guys. There we go. And we're going to open up another folder. Or not another folder, but another song. So let me get this pulled back up here. All right, so back in our music. So in our students, so go down where it shows 2. Those are the 2-part songs. Let's find, since we're on the official stream, let's do the Evan Star song. So the 2-part Evan Star. Open it up. Let me know when you have it open. I'm going to go ahead and set it up. Okay, so you guys can see it there in game, I think. You guys see that with the overlay, you guys can see the file, right? You should see it scroll down. I'll make sure that we still see chat in here. Should still see the overlay, or still see the file itself. So now, you both have it opened up. Yep. Okay. Pansy, what about you, Veg? All right. So it's pretty much the same thing. Remember, each section is specific to that instrument part, whether or not it's multiple different types of instruments, or if it's the same instrument but different parts of that same instrument. Like say you have 2 harps that are performing in a song. So for instance, the first part is what part number? This is for in-game as well as on the stream. What's the part number? I guess you guys can see it. I shouldn't highlight it and actually give you the answer. 21. All right. And what instrument is this song for? Or at least this part. What instrument is this part for? Harp. All right. So we know that this first part, and we know this is a 2-part song. There's going to be 2 sections here. So all of this, if I'm scrolling down, everything down, all this is for that one part. What is the part number for the second part? What is the number? $22. Perfect. Yep, that is as you can see, what's the range for the harps? It's 21 through 30. So you could potentially have 9 harps being assigned. Now, we know that those are the 2 things. So now what is it that you need to perform a band song? The file name, your individual part number, as well as the instrument you're going to do. So, Russ, can either of you play a harp? That's the question. If you can't, I actually might be able to teach you. I actually have. No, I can do theremin, horn. So Russ, you cannot. What about you, Pansy? Oh, but you guys can do. I mean, we can do this as with lutes. So even if a song is for a particular lute or a particular instrument, in this case, you don't necessarily have to have that instrument. I mean, they're both string songs or string instruments, so it'll still work for us. But Pansy, are you? You are. What are you? You're a minstrel, so you should be able to do a harp. So, Pansy, I will be giving you the first part. The first part. Russ, or Vegan, you will be doing the second part. Pansy, go ahead and swap out into one of your. Oh, you don't have a harp with you, right? No harp. If you don't have a harp, that's fine. You can do yours as a lute. So, Pansy, if you are doing the first part, what is your part number? Vegan, if you're doing the second part, what is your part number? And if someone can help me, any of the mods, Southern, even Barafunda, if you guys can help me keep track of the time. I don't think Ed comes on until a little bit later. I want to just double check. I think he's at 9 o'clock or something like that. Oh, we've only been out for an hour, so we should be pretty good. So, Vegan, what part number are you using if you're doing the second part? And Pansy, what part number are you doing if you're doing the first part? Yep, Vegan, you're 22. And then Pansy, you're what? You're 21. All right. So now, make sure you copy the file name. Remember, like we did before, copy the file name so it's in your clipboard. That's going to be part of your. Vegan, come over here and stand next to her. That way, they can, because the sound for the music is also directional. So if you're looking forward and you move, you can only hear it in the left side of your speaker, right side of your speaker. So it is directional. Hey Zed, do you happen to have any of those other files that I have in the student songs? Did you happen to install those music just in case we have you perform along once we get this taken care of? Did you download the student folder as well? If you haven't, go ahead and download the folder and then just move it into your songbook if you don't mind. That way, if you want to play along with us once we get them going with the band, if you have those files at all. In-game voice is so choppy. It might be lag. Might be lag that's picking up. Okay. Yes, it is. Peppermint, are you on the stream at all? Are you on the actual stream? Zed, do you have my student folder, song folder downloaded at all? If you have not, could you download the song folder, and you can actually play the songs from it? That way, you can actually perform in some of the group songs. Okay, good. So then you should be good there. So you're good to go to perform any of the songs in the song folder, the student folder. Okay, good. All right. So, Vegan and Pansy, do you both have the song files? Phil, just to follow along, I can play that first song manually. The songbook isn't showing me any of them. Correct. Because if you load Songbook the first thing, and we'll go over that next week, but if you load Songbook, what you have to do is in Songbook, in the plugin folder, there's going to be a one of those that's going to be an application or an exe. It's a compiler. You have to click on it, select your account, and it'll compile all the songs into Songbook. Once you've compiled them, you have to unload Songbook and then load it back up from your plugins, because you have to compile it so that Songbook knows it has those files. But we'll go into that in full detail next week if you don't figure it out by that time, Phil. Okay. And you see my files in Fellowship. Can you see the files in Fellowship? Yep, I lose. Oh. Yeah, there's going to be a software in there to update the actual song book itself. It's in there, and again, like I said, it'll be in next week's lesson. All right, so Vegan and Pansy, do you have the files copied? Okay, so again, this is just manually. Next week we'll do it with Songbook, but to manually initiate a song in game as a band, there's a special command that each of you do. The only difference between Vegan's command and Pansy's command is the part number that you use in the file. So what I'm going to do a dot. I'm going to do the command in the Fellowship, and I'll also send it to you guys in on the stream. I'm going to do it with a dot at the beginning of it so it doesn't initiate in game, but it's going to be this. This again after you've gone into music mode. Let me just refresh myself. Yeah. So it's going to be play space, just like before, space file name space part number. That's why you need to know your part number. Space sync sync. So I'm gonna copy it here for those of you on the stream. It's unrecognized. Let me do this here. Make sure to go ahead and get you guys into music mode. There we go. So without the dots, it's /play space file name space part number. So it's either 21 or 22 space sync. So you get yourself into music mode. And you'll see in game, Pansy is ready to play Evanstar harp. And then Vegan, do yours. And then Rustbird is ready to play Evanstar harp. So he did a second part. So now is the command to start it as a band. Oops. I think it should just be the band start, right? Just double check here. Oh, play start. Okay. So it's just /play start. So Vegan, type the command /play start. There it is. And so they start. So as you can hear it, by the musical notes, they're playing different parts. So good job. So that's that. It's as simple as that. Once you know your part number, once you know your instrument, each person in the band has to know that information. You just synchronize yourself up, and you're good to go. So, now next, what we're going to do is do a four-parter. So you're going to apply the information that you know that I just gave you. Obviously, ask questions if you need it, and then we're going to initiate a four-part song. So the one we're going to do, let's go with, I like this song, where it says 4 next to it. I'm going to see if I can do this here, so that way you guys can see it as well. Oh, I guess it's also doing this. Do it there. Oh, it's doing my window. So that's what it's doing. So if I swap between, oh, it won't do it. Okay. So you guys should see the song list there. Open up. Make sure you go to the terminal. Open up with Notepad. It should have swapped over. And it's going to swap over. There we go. So I'm going to assign you a part section, and I want you guys to get into sync mode, into band sync mode, and be ready to go. So, get this pulled up here so I can see everything. All right. Veg, you're the first part. You're going to be the first lute. The second lute is going to be Pansy. Zed, you are going to be the flute part. And then I will be, what is the last part here? See, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that's in between. Like all these are rests. So those are rests for like a timing rest. So it's pretty cool. I will be the clarinet. Whoops. I don't want to change the file. Oh, I guess I should have a space in there. Okay. So let me minimize that. So I am going to be and I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to actually use the songbook. Where's my songbook file? I guess I will be doing it manually. So, which means I am going to be clarinet number 71. Clarinet 71. So what I need is the file name. Gotta copy it. So now, in game, it's space play. It is, yeah, thank you, Zed. /play space. The file name, remember the file name, not the file name and the extension. Space, your part number, which in my case is 71. Too much of a space. 71 space SYNC. But before you initiate that, you got to make sure you have your instrument. And make sure, I got to make sure actually in music mode. Just /music. And then space in there. One needs to choose 11. And yeah, so Rust, you are 11. Yes. Zed, I think what it is is I haven't gone through on this file, because what a lot of people do when they're creating these songs, if you notice, the part name is Lute of Ages. It will come up as they synchronize the Lute of Ages. If someone does the 12 part, it will come up as they synchronize the Lute of Ages. You don't know which one. So that's why a lot of people do is they do Lute of Ages 1. They like to name the part number, Lute of Ages 1, and then Lute of Ages 2. So that they know, okay, so that person synchronized this part, and the other person synchronizes the second part. And I think, did I actually synchronize? I'll make sure they actually synchronized it. Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, I wasn't paying attention on chat. Zed, is everyone synchronized? First part. Yeah, he's on first. Pansy's on second. You're on the flute. Or I think I had you on the flute. Was that the flute one? For the third part? Yes, flute. And I am on the clarinet. All right. So now I think I had Vegan do it. Pansy, go ahead and do the band start. Remember, it's /play start. I'm going to get up the stream chat here. It would be where it shows / and then 4 Gremlins. That's the file name. The / parentheses FOR. So that is it. Yeah. And that's it. Remember, each band member has to put in the number of their part, and then the space sync. Uh-oh. So you guys... Oh, okay. I was thinking the stream hasn't caught up yet. But I think the stream is actually frozen up. Right? At least the visual part of it. Because you guys are seeing me on top. You can see my webcam. But you can't see the other parts. You can't see what they're doing right now. So that is the terminal. I want to listen to the song because it's actually pretty cool. And what we can actually do next, we can actually do the Gremlins next. It's actually a pretty cool song. So this is what I'm going to do. So as you can see, the audio is directional. Based on what you're facing. Oh, you don't hear anything at all? You don't hear them? So what you're facing? Is it? Oh, is it? Okay. Let me, because I decreased the audio for the player music. Let me bring it up. Now you should be able to see it here better. Yeah, video is frozen. Once we're done here, I'm going to restart my client so that the video comes back. In the meantime, I'm going to give them their instructions for the next song. And so by the time I load up the game client again, they should be ready. So we'll see, this will be their test, right? To see if they can do this. Okay, so let's go ahead and hold there. So, as I restart my song, If you actually guys notice here, there's actually going to be songs in here that don't begin with the FOR for Forte. There's one that begins with Pell, and there's SEV, and there's Ash. Those are actually students that on their on their next week, is it next week? No, it's week 3. I will be teaching them how to create their own music. Their music then goes from that creation goes into the concert, the student graduation and concert, which is week 4. But their music goes into the music collection for the students. But what we're gonna do as I refresh my system, I want you guys to go ahead and get ready for what we're gonna do on this one, Gremlins. So I'm just going to open up Gremlins. I'm going to give you each your parts. I'm hoping you guys have the instruments for it. Let me double check here. And then by the time I have the game client loaded back up, which should unfreeze the screen, you guys should be ready. Okay. Anyone? Okay. So Zed, you're going to do the drums. Remember, this is Gremlins, the 4-part Gremlins. I will do the flute. Let's hope they have instruments for this. Can either of you do the horn or a flute or a drum? I'm not sure. I guess the question is, do you actually have the instrument? Any of you have any of those instruments with you, I guess? I can do the clarinet. I can do drums. Okay, so Pansy, you're going to go ahead and do the drum part. What parts can you do, Vegan? What instruments can you perform? Correct. Yeah, you can actually know, and you can pretty much play any of these parts with any song, any instrument. Okay, so you can do the clarinet. So Vegan, I want you to do the clarinet part, which should be the last part, like the last part in the song files, I think. So I want you to get ready the clarinet part. Pansy, I want you to get ready the flute part. Zed, if you can help guide them as I'm getting everything restarted, I want you to do the horn. And then I will do the drums. Oh no, we're Pansy, you're on the drums. He's on the horn. I will be the flute. You guys got your parts, and Zed, you got it. So I am going to go ahead and restart my client. And by the time you guys, and Zed will help you guys, make sure you get the proper ones pulled up. And I'll be right back. This is your test. All right, those of you who are in the stream, thanks to you guys for your patience. There's multiple servers, Put. I think there's 10 servers now. There's 5 European servers, 5 servers that are based, or 5 European, and 5 based off of the United States. Or sorry, North America, because I mean, United States is the only country in North America. So I am going to get myself loaded back up here. And Zed, you guys should still be able to hear me because you guys are also in on the stream. So yeah, yeah. And there's Put the server names I think will show them as what country that they're primarily based out of. So you can kind of see, and again, it's really based off of of who's going to, and they did that, so it's kind of based off of when people are awake, so that we have a good chance of people that are in a German server that they're actually going to be awake at that same time. Again, you can play on a German server if you chose to. Your choice. Well, I'm kind of biased. I'm on Landreval. Landreval is, I would say, the major server. Landreval and Brandywine are like some of the major servers for events, and so it's really based off of what you're really into, what you like, what type of environment do you want. PvE, PvP. Do you want musical events? Do you like? There's role play. There's ones that are more role play than other servers. Waiting for the stream to catch up. All right, let's load ourselves back in. Oh, I actually didn't know that there was a roleplay enforced server in the UK. Hold on here. One moment as that loads up and go quick away from keyboard. All right. Welcome back. All right. So it looks like they are. Oh, I guess I should. Whoever has leadership, you guys can go ahead and re-invite me. Fix this here. There we go. Let me get this pulled up. Let me get into here so I can see. Okay, so. Yeah, he's kind of screechy. Okay, so Zed, are they all good to go? Oh, I guess I should be in there too, right? Guess that'd be good. Okay. Got my songbook back. And you guys, those of you who are on the stream can kind of see oops, kind of the songbook part of it. You can actually search for songs. I find a four-parter, and I am. Oh, it's because they're on the different version of it. It's over here. Okay, so they're going to be on Gremlins. There we go. So we got clarinet, drum, horn. That leaves me with flute. I'm going to equip my flute. Oops. Go into music mode. And then I'm going to synchronize it. It actually has the ability to synchronize. You can actually do everything using that. All right. So now that we all should be synchronized, everyone has the appropriate instruments. Because Southern Belle, you probably have the old original song. Oh, and it's also because I have the Hobbit UI, the user interface. But if you don't have the Badgers chapter, it's also going to look different. And I've also expanded certain aspects of it. Again, next week we're going to go over the sections and how to set it up. Yeah, because you are tall. Vegan. Okay. So, let's go ahead and initiate it, Vegan, if you want to go ahead and initiate the band. And we're going to let the song play out. It's because you are tall. I like this song. Again, there's a lot of events like Halloween themed music events coming up, and this is actually one of the songs a lot of people like to play. I'm gonna let this one run through. Well, see, that vegan, that's something that we've always wanted to do. Like somehow allow an ability to put out a hat so people to donate for performances. Southern, most likely because then at that point, because you were at 0.92, and I have 0.94. But it shouldn't be that much difference. Yeah, I got 9.4. But also because I'm using the Hobbit UI. So that might be why visually, colors and all that might look different. And we'll go over the installation and the usage of the songbook next week, 6 p.m. server time. And those of you who are also in chat, if you guys want to be able to learn that as well, be sure to meet here at the Metal Stage next week at 6 p.m. To continue the classes as well. All right. So that's pretty much it. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to let me know here. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I want to give a thank you and a shout out to Zedrock, Barafunda. Zedrock is also one of the Lotro streamers here. He is what, Barafunda? As also a shout out to Veg. Vegan, he's also one of the official Lotro streamers as well. All right, everyone. After this song, make sure you give a bow. Woohoo! Good job, everyone. So that there is actually lesson 1 of Forte's Academy of Music. And of course, just like I was saying before, next week will be the next, will be class 2, where you actually will be learning how to download and install. I mean, this will also be for those of you who want to learn how to do plugins as well. You'll learn how to install, update, and use the Songbook plugin. So that way you know how to use the how to be able to initiate songs in game using chat and the files. The Songbook plugin will make it that much easier. But I wanted to make sure that everyone knew how to do it initially, to the hard way, like we all used to do it. That way, if your plugin didn't work, like my plugin wasn't working, you can initiate any of your files in game. Now, the only difference, like I told you, you guys receive the files as a folder. Technically, you could drag the student folder to the folder, to the music folder. The only difference between the command is you would type in the actual folder name / and then the file name. That's the only difference in the command. But I want to thank you all guys all for joining me for today. And it looks like in about an hour, I want to double check here. Double check our calendar. All right. It's actually 10 o'clock. So that would be in about 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Big Ed would actually be coming around for his Adventures After Dark here on the Lotro stream. And of course, if you guys ever have any questions regarding any time that anyone is streaming, you can always type /schedule in the chat, whether or not it is on or offline. We also have the offline message, which it's also there as well. Yeah, and if anyone who hasn't been able to enjoy the stream ever wants to learn how to do the music, I do have videos as well as written out lessons as to how to do all that stuff in music. This is including those of you who are experienced in music, how to convert the using musical notation, how to convert that into ABC files. So you always have that capability. And of course, anyone is invited to attend these classes. So next week, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'd say by 5:30, meet here on Landreval um, at the Methyl stage. If you look here on the map, Methyl stage is actually just south of Bywater. So come on down, meet up about 5:30 for next week's classes. For those of you who haven't done so yet, you're more than welcome to go to my website and follow the link to the Songbook Bb to at least have the file downloaded. Now, again, I'm going to go ahead and stick the download in here as a link again. Well, not the download, but the website URL. I have it pulled up here. Okay, no problem, vegan. Pretty much, if you at least have the file downloaded, if you know how to do plugins, just move the folder that's in the plugin folder that's in the zip file. Just move the folder into your plugins folder. Once you've gotten that part, then you should be good to go. I'm also going to throw it to you here, Pansy, in fellowship chat. So there's the actual website where there's a lot of the resources that I put together. All right, excellent. I think we are good to go. If anyone ever has any questions, feel free to contact me. And of course, there's people always streaming here on the Lotro stream. So if you ever have any questions about Lord of the Rings Online itself, feel free to stop on by when anyone's streaming, and we'd be happy to answer any questions. Thanks a lot, guys, and you guys have a good evening, and I will be seeing you next week.